Skippy02 here again. Got a little bit of a different product we're going to talk about right here. What you see before you is a pair of the Oakley operator gloves. And I can't say that I've ever seen or heard of anybody else talking about, reviewing, or discussing these particular gloves. And it came up in a conversation the other day. Somebody was talking about buying a pair or whatever because they saw them somewhere or whatever the case was. And they were going to buy them for like 25 bucks on eBay. And I said, man, there's no way. And they were like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, short of the long was, these gloves are not $25. This is my second pair of these gloves. And I love them. I do. I love them to death. They're fantastic. They're well made. They're feature rich with things that ordinarily you would probably never even think about, whatever, but nonetheless great gloves. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. They're about 75 bucks. So I went looking at this supposed $25 set of Oakley operator gloves, and right off the bat I knew they weren't legit. They were Hong Kong phooey, as I like to say, but you know, I'm not going to point fingers and name names. So if you are one of these people who has seen these gloves, heard of these gloves, or knows somebody with a pair, wants a pair, but you're thinking to yourself, oh, somebody's got to do it better than $75 or $80, or hell, I've seen them as high as $120 something dollars, but whatever. Here's some of the things to look for, and some of the things you should probably know about these gloves that otherwise you would probably not know about. First off, the obvious thing. This is what catches most people's attention. This is what catches their eye, and this is usually what draws them in. The hard knuckle. That's carbon fiber. That's not plastic. That's not Hydro Dip. That's not paint. That is carbon fiber. It is vacuum formed, hardened, knuckle shaped. I mean, you know, look at my knuckles. Look at that. I mean, it's not a dome. It's not just a plastic cap. That's actual carbon fiber. Look at it real close. You can see it's got a truly woven pattern. You can almost feel it as you rub on it. It's not smooth. It's not slick. And then it's, you know, impregnated with resin and vacuum formed and autoclaved and what have you. But we won't go into how carbon fiber is formed and made. But it's real carbon fiber. It's not any of these other things that you might see or buy at AutoZone or Pep Boys or eBay or whatever. So there's your first telltale. If the Oakley gloves you're buying have something other than what you're seeing here, right off the bat, you know they're Bobo. The famous Oakley logo, that is like fused into the material here. It's not a sticker. You can see it's three-dimensional. It's like a silicone rubber, and it is literally like heat formed into the material on the back of the hand. It's not an iron-on or a decal. It's not flat. You know, it's three-dimensional. Another feature that these gloves have that most gloves won't, and you may never have thought of, and I don't know if these other knockoffs or clones do or not, but right here over the back of the thumb, now here's the tip of the thumb and whatnot, and here's where it wraps into the top of your hand, but this whole part right here is a sponge. Why would you need a sponge on your gloves? Well, have you ever been out in the hot sun and been sweating and had sweat in your eyes or running in your eyes off your brow, this kind of thing? Guess what? Go ahead and rub the back of your hand, or at least the edge of your hand, this part here, with this, and the sponge sucks it right up, dries it up, takes care of that. Who would have thought of that? I don't know. The guys at Oakley did. Genius. The back of the hand right here, which would be, you know, the top of your hand. This is a leather that's aerated, and I forget, it's a specific special kind of leather. I forget what Oakley actually calls it, but it's Stedman's or Steedham's or something to that effect. I honestly forget, and I no longer have the packaging which explains all that and goes into it, but it's one of the things that Oakley is very proud of, and it's one of the things that makes these gloves, you know, cost what they cost. They are actually leather on the back and the palm, and it's a special kind of leather that is very highly desirable apparently, or whatever, but whatever. The palms, like I said, they're fully leather, so they're slash resistant, cut resistant, and all that. No, you're not going to reach up and palm an arrow flying at you or whatever, and I don't know, if somebody tried to stab you, you know, point wise, you're probably not going to palm it. But if you were to, say, grab a knife by its blade or whatever, you're not going to easily cut through this, and you're not going to get readily slashed. So that's a plus, and I seriously doubt that the clone gloves have the ability to say that as well. Also, being that it's leather, that tends to get hot. It doesn't tend to breathe very well, but if you can look at this, it's actually micro perforated. So, you know, they breathe pretty well. They don't get too terribly hot, so that's a plus. They're a little stiff when you get them and they're fairly new, but they do soften up. The fingertips have this stuff that they call unobtainium on them and are designed to be removed, where they're double stitched if you want bare finger action, one or two, your middle finger, your index finger. So you could cut that off and you know, have that added dexterity or whatever. They are intentionally designed that way. They have the all the way through breather holes on the four knuckles across the front. And this material in the back is pretty common to most gloves, like in the mechanics line, but it's double lined mesh. So, you know, while you can't see right through it, it gives you the soft, comfy feel on the inside there, you know. And then the more durable extra, but it's stretchable and flexible exterior material. The cuff around your wrist is neoprene with the Velcro closure, as you just saw me open there, and then the heavy silicone pull tab. And then you have these oversized parts with the little unobtainium boobies on them that give you something to pull it up onto your wrist as you're putting them on. You know, little features like that. Like I said, this is my second pair. The only thing about these that I can tell you right now that kind of sucks or is disappointing is, well, these little nubs. These are going to wear off real quick. They they get tore up pretty easily. And the nubs on the fingertips, you can see these are already starting to show some signs of wear, and these gloves are fairly new. I've only had them a couple months, but you know, those little nubs do wear out, but that's all right because the glove itself stays intact through and through. So, you know, it's just like cosmetic stuff. That's not really a make it or break it deal. But anyway, a good set of gloves. Definitely an underrated piece of kit that everybody should have. I've got a couple different pairs and a couple different types. I'll do some reviews on those as well, and you know, get that posted up as well for a comparison. But the original point of this was, like I said, there's apparently a lot of imitators out there trying to get over on Oakley's operator gloves, and if anybody else is out there thinking about buying some or shopping for some, be educated, know what you're getting into, understand why they cost what they do. And what I've talked about here are only parts of the reasoning behind the price tag. So keep that in mind, do your research, pay particularly close attention to the details. I mean, you know, you don't see any ragged threads here. Everything is all double stitched and heavy duty and what have you. But excellent gloves, excellent gloves. If, like I said, if you are in the market for a quality set, get them. You'll love them. This is Scipio2. I'm going to sign out now. Leave you guys at it. If you have any questions or anything about these, by all means, put it down beneath. I'll get to it, I promise. If you like the video, please click that like button. We appreciate that. Take care. God bless. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.